Welcome to the Spirituality Guidance Channel's podcasts. Our podcasts will feature spiritual teachers who speak on a wide variety of topics, from how to live in your spirituality in the real world to how to deal with those who have no spiritual foundation at all. We are here to serve your spiritual needs each and every day. May God bless you on your spiritual journey and fill your life with health, wealth, prosperity, and abundance everlasting.
Podcast number 7, Who's in Charge? By Dean A. Banks, D.D. How do you react to life when apparent bad things happen? Do you become unhinged? Do you say or do things that you regret? Or do you treat what appears to be bad to mold your character into being proactive? I have said time and time again that how you react to something is how it affects you. If you negatively react to an event, occurrence, situation, circumstance, or behavior of another, it will affect you negatively by prompting your ego to overcome, by fighting or resisting what has happened. However, if you positively proact your experiences in life, you are accepting and allowing the changes to occur without attaching any fearful emotions to them. In choosing to allow instead of resist, we are being proactive. We are growing and expanding in faith more than withering and contracting in fear. We are learning to trust the divine as our guide through our experiences instead of retreating into our ego to bury the apparent pain of our experiences. Our egos have one job: to secure our safety and survival at all costs. The ego is a construct of our biological fight, freeze, or flight reactions to our environment. It is where we do what is necessary to survive. The electrochemical thought processes generated by our instinctual reptilian brain are what ensure our environmental survival. This is especially true with our sense of smell, which goes directly into our reptilian brain in order for us to sense danger or possible death and react to it. However, when we learn to trust in our inner spirit, we have developed the process of proaction, which supersedes our instinctual reactive processes. It has been said that true peace is maintaining allowance despite living in surrounding chaos. The ego has one reaction to what it perceives and believes is a threat. It always chooses to resist or fight. It is programmed to do this for our consistent self-survival. However, the spirit has one proaction to what it knows is the progenitor to growth and expansion. It always chooses to allow or agree. It is designed to do this for our consistent growth and expansion. But what is growth? It is a process of gradual increase in development from a simpler stage into a more complex stage, much like the transition of a caterpillar into a butterfly. The caterpillar lives in its cocoon of relative safety and security until it grows into a butterfly and expands from its cocoon of being trapped in mediocrity into its newfound freedom in its environment, where it flies free in the wind. It is much the same for us when we decide to leave the constraints of our ego and allow our inner spirit to free us from the bonds of mediocrity through the process of expansion. In his book, Spirituality, The Awareness of Reality, Dr. Jose Alberto Luzardo states, in this stage, the stage of expansion, we perceive our infinite and perfect nature in mystic moments in which we feel the entire universe is in us and that our wholeness is contained in everything and in everyone. During the expansion stage, in the spiritual journey, we transmute into God's essence, our true nature, for brief times. As we expand, we trust more and lack less. Then we start appreciating that eternal enlightenment becomes less of a fantasy utopia and more of a reality. we start comprehending that we have a place, a purpose in God's creation, and we come to the awareness of our active role in the perfection. As this awareness permeates every single cell of our essence, an overwhelming and profound feeling of humility sweeps over us, and a flood of happiness makes us feel blessed and fortunate. We perceive an enormous sense of gratitude, for feeling small and unnoticeable is the most wonderful indication that we are expanding. Expansion is not overcoming. Overcoming is a function of the ego in reaction to perceived threats to its existence. It means to get the better of in a struggle or conflict, to conquer, defeat, to prevail over, to overpower or overwhelm in body or mind, to gain the victory, to win, conquer. This definition comes from dictionary.com. In other words, overcoming implies a struggle, a fight, a resistance to, and victory over what one perceives is being overcome. Expansion comes from allowing that which has given you life to free you from the constraints of having to defeat what you perceive as threatening to life. Stop overcoming negativity and start allowing positivity to flow through you into your world. Living positively is allowing your inner spirit to guide you. It means that you have become aware of your inner spirituality and have accepted its dynamic states of peace, understanding, joy, and divine love in your life. But just what is your spirituality? Again, Dr. Lizardo states this eloquently in his book, Spirituality, the Awareness of Reality. Spirituality is absolute. It applies universally to all. It is not a human invention. It is a human attribute. The harmony and fairness of what you do go beyond human inventions. Perhaps if you are open enough, you can feel your connection with all as your conscience. In this precise moment, tells you how fair and harmonious you are when you engage in your endeavors. Are you listening? Really, are you listening? Are you listening to that still small voice of divine love that resides deep within you? Are you listening to its guidance, or are you believing what your selfish ego is telling you? Are you overcoming what you perceive as against you, or are you allowing what you don't know yet to bless you? God blesses those who bless themselves by getting out of their own way. Who is truly in charge in your life? Is it your ego or your spirit? Are you fooling yourself enough to disguise your true essence in order to control, dominate, and manipulate your experiences and reality to benefit your ego's demands? Or are you developing the wisdom to allow your expressions of freedom, surrender, and allowance to not allow you to attach emotional baggage to your experiences? Only you can determine what is buried in the deepest recesses of your unconscious mind. Carl Gustav Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Your ego is the king of keeping the truth hidden from your awareness. It will do whatever it can to deceive you for it to remain in control of your life. Choose to create your destiny of making firm and establishing what your divine desires reveal to you in your life, instead of acclimating yourself to a fate of prophetic declaration that reflects the cravings and yearnings of your selfish ego. Stay focused on that which allows and permits more than what resists and constricts the flow of divine love from your heart into your world. Allow your inner well-being of divinity to be in charge of the flow of your life in divine order. Be ye therefore allowing more than resisting, and loving more than fighting. Copyright 2016, Dean A. Banks, D.D.
Who are you serving when you play it small?
Absolutely no one.
That ain't no way to be a child of God. I feel like Travis Tritt.
Bulletproof.
Shed